Darla Thurber, Vice President for Student Affairs.
I'm Dr. Rebekah Robinette. I'm an Associate Professor of Biological Sciences.
So tell us about your connection to MBC and where your journey began.
All right, I'll start. So mid-90s, I came out, that non-traditional first-generation student attending part-time, and really got connected whenever I was invited to join Phi Theta Kappa, the Honor Society, and a lot of activities during the day, and realized if I didn't go full-time at some point, I was going to be out here forever, which was okay, but so I began going, taking more classes each semester, but that's really my connection. And afterwards, I wouldn't leave. I got a job here, so I stayed on for, oh gosh, probably 2 years, and then spent about 5 years at another college in the state, a community college, but came back home, been here ever since. Probably going to bury me up on the ridge somewhere at some point, unless Kelly builds more residence halls up there. So
1996, I came into this campus center, which was the main building back then, scared, terrified, homeschooled, first-generation student, and interacted with Ron Chesser, and he's like, sure, we can get you in some classes, and told me what I needed to do. And then I quickly took hold here and flourished and found the community I belonged to and what I needed to do with my life, and stayed here till 1999, and then I went as far away as I could get for 12 years. But I came back after I got all the education that I needed.
What do y'all think sets MPC apart from other campuses?
I think about the fact that we're just unconventional. We don't really, we follow the rules and we know what the standards are, but we don't let history or turf, things like that, come in the way of, or come in the middle of listening to our students and just really serving them the best that we can. So I also thought about the word fierce, and not in the vicious way, but just that impassioned way that we do things, and the fact that we do listen to our students. What better way to make the environment best for them than to include them? And so I guess a third word would be listening, but I think we're unconventional, and that's really benefited the campus and the students.
I think it's our true dedication to the students, not numbers. We've been larger, we've been smaller, and throughout the whole course, it's the focus on the students, from the faculty perspective, for sure, getting to interact with the students and make impacts and help them in their day-to-day lives, because you get their stories firsthand in a classroom. And then just the pure dedication to our community sets it apart, and our local residents. And of course, anyone's welcome from anywhere, but the local impact is huge.
What changes have you witnessed over your time here?
Oh my goodness. When I started here, like I said, this was the building that wasn't original, I think, to the campus. Faculty offices were in a mobile trailer on the hill where several office buildings stand. Every science and math was in what's now Legacy Hall. There was a tennis court and a baseball field where the parking and the nursing building were. There were no sports, but all the facilities, funny enough, to play them when I came in 1996. Just the massive change in the campus footprint. And, I was like 4 years, I didn't come back to Arkansas. And then when I came to visit, I was like, I don't know where I'm at, because there was these new buildings that I didn't know existed. So it was pretty amazing to see the transformation over 25 years.
That's right.
Yes, we were here for the 25th.
And now it's the 50th.
Yeah, we were here for 25th. I think I still have the coffee mug.
Yep. I just wanted to speak to maybe the continued investments in our people. And while I think we've always made that one of our strongest focuses, just thinking about specifically with faculty, we have so many PhD credentialed faculty, full-time faculty members. Even our adjunct pool is extremely strong and robust, and so just recognizing the investments in our people are still so important, and I think that's made us very successful.
So from your perspective, how has the student experience changed and what still remains the same?
Technology makes a huge difference in the learning experience. And I mean, the computers on campus were in a class to learn Word, I believe, and things like that back in the day, which I took in the basement of one of the buildings. And other than that, I don't think it's changed, because the core values of how the students are treated are here. They do have an advantage because technology does actually make it a lot easier. They're not doing their assignments with colored pencils and rulers like I did back in the day. They could do a PowerPoint. So other than that, I think it's the same as far as the core values.
I think so too. I still see, like you and me both, we knew we were leaving, but we didn't want to leave. We needed to continue our education, but we wanted to stay here somehow. And just this last group of graduates, we had folks we know them by their first names, and they're in tears. They don't want to go, and they've already gotten their full scholarship to their next institution. But it's just so bittersweet for them, and that's a testament. If they have all of this ahead of them, but they're not wanting to leave our campus, I think we've done some things right. And so I think that's continued from the time I was here as a student, not wanting to leave, till now, just a couple months ago. So we do have opportunities for students to stay and earn their bachelor's degree. So right now, it's a little bit limited. We have, 5 or 6 that we offer right now, but we hope to open that up. And for any student in any discipline, that they would be able to stay and have that care that they've received from our faculty and staff, be able to continue to have that experience, which will make them even more successful as they're continuing their undergrad here.
I have the pleasure of actually teaching those courses for the 4-year pre-med students, and it's very gratifying to be able to see them get to that step in the comfort of our campus. I'm very glad they have it, and the timing was right.
What was it like being a student here?
Oh gosh, just so supported. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I had parents who were excited for me to be a college student generally, but they didn't have any clue about my degree path. What did I need to do each semester? I didn't even fill out a FAFSA when I first attended because I didn't know. Thank God for Lisa Hopper and her team. But just people who cared about me. I remember being in an orientation with Ron Chesser, Phyllis Brooks, Dana Murphy, Kathy Wells, and these people were just automatically family members. And I think that's the theme that carried on with me the entire time I was here. My family was here helping me, supporting me, and pushing me. So that's my experience in a nutshell. I had a family here.
It was an amazing experience being a student at MPC. Again, I came in so fragile and shy and sheltered and unsure, and it allowed me to flourish and prove what I really had inside of me with the support of people who pushed me to do my best, but helped me every step of the way. So you're not going to find many places where, your mentor or professor and your subject, Dr. Ann Bragg, drove me across the country to look at that opportunity at the college that I was wanting to attend, but too scared and couldn't figure it out how to get there, over 1,000 miles away. And not very many places that you get to come back and replace that person when they retired. So it's a legacy here.
That's right.
So being a student, you're part of your legacy for your whole life.
Do you remember Mary Kay Worm telling you she was excited about the possibility of you doing research, and I know she had mentioned St. Jude's and some other places, but these people were so invested and excited to get us placed somewhere or help us figure out that next step. And yeah, you had no chance other than to begin living your dreams, the things that you wanted to do, and them being able to connect. I thought that was really special. Absolutely.
Mary Kay gave me the job in the tutoring lab where I really got to hone my skills, I guess, in helping students, and they all pushed and helped, and you know, Barbara Briscoe from Phi Theta Kappa,
yeah.
our advisor for Phi Theta
Love
Kappa.
you, Barbara.
We love Barbara, my mother, and I replaced her here indirectly in Phi Theta Kappa as well. Just pushed, and those two people, Dr. Bragg and Barbara Briscoe, were at the University of Florida for that graduation. PhD Darla and those two individuals were in North Carolina for that graduation.
That's right.
So they made the trek.
So, have you been to any NPC athletic events, and what was it like?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, have you been in the kettle during a home basketball game? There is nothing like it. Now, I'm a diehard. I love to watch the Razorbacks play. You want to feel like that, a community of folks who've gathered in a place to cheer people on. I'm a little obnoxious. I don't care because it's so exciting to be rooting on your college's team. So how fun is that? And then to go out to the park to watch the baseball and softball teams play. Fantastic. Can't wait for soccer practice to start in a couple of weeks and see what a wonderful team we've got going on there. I'm ready to go out and see the cross country and track teams. So that I haven't done that yet, and that's on my list. Well, I'll absolutely be doing that next.
So, you have already named a few, but is there any faculty or staff that have had a big impact on you?
Absolutely. We talked about Barbara Briscoe. That advisor team for Phi Theta Kappa at the time, Darlene Gentles and Carla Williams, just so supportive and really helped us. You know, we had the good classroom experience, but being in Phi Theta Kappa, and then I think those trips, the trips that we went on,
Yeah.
I remember working on algebra and on the bus when we were headed to Oklahoma for a regional convention, and Carla just, you know, so giving of her time to help me with that, and just those special moments that we had with them. Also, Roger Fox, I so enjoyed Comp 1 with Roger. He was going to read one of my papers that I wrote, and I felt like that was probably the highlight of my educational career. Roger, you lost my paper. I don't know what happened. You said, I am so sorry I've misplaced your paper, and so no one got to hear that fabulous story I wrote, but that's okay. I forgive you. Just the fact that you were going to read it, that really made my day, so it was a special moment. But I'm leaving off so many people that were just, you know, influential. Again, some of the staff, Ron Chesser, I remember having to take the test to see where I would fit in the algebra class, and he was so sure of my score. He said, you are going to go into intermediate algebra. I'm like, no, I don't think I'm even ready for that. Sorry. And he said, I've got this confidence in you. You're going to do fine. I'll connect you with resources if you need tutoring. You're going into intermediate algebra. Made an A in intermediate algebra. It worked out. He knew what he was talking about. He's cared for so many students over the years. He was just a really good advisor, counselor, and friend.
Yeah, to piggyback off of you, the Phi Theta Kappa trips were so influential with those three individuals, Carla and Darlene and Barbara. And I remember sitting at dinner one time doing my trigonometry homework, and no one was there to help me at that moment, but I made it. And then Ron Chester, funny story. You know, when I came back to work here in 2011, I ran into him, and he goes, I remember when you started, and I thought to myself, that girl has zero chances of making it. But I wasn't going to tell you that, but that was what he thought, and I proved him wrong, so one time I guess he was wrong. And he was proud to admit that he was wrong and that I did make it. So that's a testament to the campus.
What do you hope to see for the future of NPC students?
I hope that we would be able to meet every need and wish that a student had. And, you know, it's worked so well so far. I think we are open to listening to anything that they have to say. Here's what I need, here's how I need it, and for us to explore that. Those investments have made the difference for our student body, so I think that's what we should continue to do.
I hope more opportunities, which are underway. I know they're always underway, and to be able to holistically meet the needs of the students so that they're successful, more successful.
Do you have any interesting or funny stories to share?
Funny stories, eh? I have a good one. So I'm an associate of applied science and accounting. Here's an MLT. We end up in Western Civ together, right? And lots of writing, lots and lots of writing. So we finished the semester. I made an A. Rebekah found out that she got a B. She said, I'll never forget, she said, "You got an A and he gave me a B? He's wrong." Yeah, so here, I'm
That's my
not the
only
rocket
B.
scientist in the pair here, but, a pretty solid student. But, so I was going to tell you, you could go back and retake the class so you would have
Yeah,
A's for your
offered.
entire academic
Yeah,
career. So
yeah.
you go on to High Point University,
Had one B
University
there.
of Florida, and you have 2 B's your entire academic. So are you going to retake the classes so you can have all A's?
No, because I started with a B and I was consistent, and he graded on improvement. So that's how he did it.
Right.
And so if I was consistent, I would never want to go to Western Civ again. No offense, but I'm a scientist. And
But on the other side of that, when we first met, Rebekah lived somewhere else, and we ended up becoming roommates. And so we would study together. And so she had all of her notes on her index cards for her MLT classes. And these were like 7-syllable words. And I would begin pronouncing the word, and she would finish it, give me the definition, and tell me what the next word was on the index card. So I don't think I was helping at all with the studying, but
it was quite entertaining listening to you pronounce those words. So
whatever.
I do that for fun sometimes. Our first plane flight, Darla and I took together for Phi Theta Kappa. So the convention, the big international convention, was in Anaheim, California. And Darla was going to do the Leadership Academy, which started a day early. And so Barbara Briscoe wanted us to go together since we'd never flown. So we go to Little Rock. We walk outside and get on this little plane with the propellers. I had to push the start them, I feel like. It was small. And we're like, oh no. And we get in this plane and we go to take off. And Darla and I are like, is that turbulence? Are we going to die? The whole way. And then we end up in LAX. I mean, on a big, we had to ride a bus from terminal to terminal in Dallas. And then we end up flying into LAX. And we finally got through the tunnel from the plane, and we met some carpet, where the passengers would wait, and we both got on the floor and we kissed the ground that we had made it. I have a picture of her kissing the ground somewhere. Yes. So it was quite entertaining. And then on the way back, we were so exhausted, and then we had the group with us then, and I think we were still like, that's turbulence, that's turbulence. So
we did a lot of things,
was
as
fun.
students we grew, we became world travelers, not very good at it, but seriously,
Yes.
those experiences
Yes.
and people putting faith in us, and I think about Barbara Briscoe particularly. She was really all about be your authentic self,
Right.
whatever that looks like. And I'm not right. And she was okay with that. And she wanted us to invest in ourselves in that way and have that confidence. Be yourself. You're not going to be anybody else but you. Do that thing. And so I'm not right to this day, and I'm very happy with that. It's okay.
she allowed me to be unright too. So I learned how to be not right. And it's great.
And to be okay with that.
And to be okay with that.
That's right.
What's your earliest memory of the college?
It was about 1994. Again, I started in 96. Again, grew up very unique, very sheltered, strictly religious background. And myself and the pastor's daughter were allowed, I was like 17, she was like 19, to go to Hot Springs for the day. She was originally from Benton. And we thought we were going to go to Magic Springs, and it was closed. There was no internet to look up, see if places were open back then. And we saw a sign for Mid-America Science Museum. So we made our way through town and going to the Science Museum, and I saw this campus on the way. And in the back of my head, I was like, that looks nice. If I ever am allowed to go to college, because I wasn't allowed at that point, then I think I'll go there. So that's my earliest memories when I discovered it. And then a couple years later, I showed up and Ron Chester pretended to have faith in me and enrolled me. So,
My first memory of the college, I mean, I know I was here to register and had attended classes, but my first real memory of a place and then the people was in the Computer Resources Auditorium for a Phi Theta Kappa induction ceremony that I was being inducted at that time. And I remember Barbara telling me, well, we have a what's it called? Is it like a slogan or whatever, that chant? We called it the chant, maybe. Do you remember the chant? We feel good. Oh, we feel so good. Oh. And it was so funny to me. And I laughed, and she said, let's do it again. Darla, you're going to lead it whenever we go out, for the induction ceremony. I was thinking first, this is this very formal honor society, and we're going to be very serious. I was in this hideous purple dress. I remember that. Still can't dress myself. But at the end of the ceremony, we all busted out into that chant, and I thought, this is going to be a fun experience. This is going to be great. So I don't know, it just seems like all of that was my first real memory being a student.
So what does it mean for MPC to be turning 50? What does it mean to you, and what does it mean for the college?
I remember when we were first talking about we're going to be celebrating our 50th anniversary, and Melanie and I just having a little informal chat about what would that slogan be, And Melanie said, we change lives. We've been doing it for 50 years of changing lives. So, hey, thanks, Melanie. Perfect tagline. Golly, how many thousands of people have we impacted in 50 years? I would love to just try to put a number on that, but it's countless. It's countless, and it's not just that particular student. They influenced a family member. We've had so many students come through who a sibling came after them, and they saw what an impact the college had on them. And so many who were student leaders, and then, competitive or whatever, that sibling came along, and they kind of went through that same path, and they became a leader on this campus. And so, 50 years of changing lives. There's no better way to say that.
turning 50 is special. It is very special. Looking back and them celebrating the 25th anniversary during my time here in 1998, it's hard to fathom that much time has passed since my life was altered completely. And so every single year in the last 25 years, there's been hundreds and thousands of lives altered in a good way, permanently. 50 special, but 100 is going to be amazing too, right?
That's right. It's just been a privilege to be part of something so special. And you think each year, how could we do better than this? And it's not a place of, being arrogant. It's a place of, is there anything else really that we can do? Well, guess what? All you need to do is get in a classroom with some of our students and say, what else do we need to do? What else could we be doing right now? And you know what? We do something bigger and better every year because of that. So we're just onward and upward, and I can't wait to see. I mean, what's 60, 75, 100 years?
We'll be in our walkers at the 75th celebration.
I hope you know me.
Motorized though.
It's technology.
We'll have some really cool ones.